As we welcome you to the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. Tonight's event is at the Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. The Atlanta long run by iDriveSim Training, but I'm sure you know the programming deal by now. Before we get rolling in Atlanta, we're going to throw it back to the iDriveSim Training Charlotte Rumble at the aforementioned Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Our two commentators, as always, Josh Mertz and Cody Erdmann.
As we get ready for round number 190 of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge overall, and the fifth round of the 23rd season of the championship. Cody Erdmann, Josh Mertz up in the commentary box. We have Dylan Livingood roaming the track. Victor Vallee production truck, Charlie Daniels in Twitchland. 12 cars, 10 laps, 2 jokers, and Sindre Silva is not on pole position, but can he make it? 4 wins out of 5 races in this season. It is all to play for here in Charlotte as we get ready. We go green in Charlotte, and off the line, Rufos gets a great jump. Sindre Silva in the middle. Parisi doesn't want to let him get away. Sindre gets turned. He gets turned off the front bumper of Parisi. Parisi can't get away from it either. And the 2 championship protagonists are involved in a wreck. Over the wall goes Moftaw, and Jacob Rufos and Magnus Okenhaug lead ahead of Matt Hartley. John Dipple, Philip Kraus, Parisi's back in 6th. Sindre Silva recovers quickly ahead of Luke Kraus, Kieran Forrest, Josh Clogg, Jason Hook, and Moftaw on the 191 is stuck off the road. Jacob Rufos, huge lead ahead of his countryman Okenhaug, and now our championship leader Silva. Dare I say it, and I hate to say it this way, finally having bad luck, Cody, here in Charlotte.
As if I remember correctly, we were informed by Charlie that he said that Sindre and Connor didn't think that either of them were going to be on the podium. Well, guess what? We have a good chance of that not happening now.
At the end of the first lap, Rufos leads over the former champion Hartley in the 48. He has not had to battle with Okenhaug in quite some time. They are side by side. Dipple in the 34, Philip Kraus, Parisi in the fence in the 11, coming out in front of Silva in the 63.
As I watched also, Sindre climbed the wall in the Joker, so them two both are pushing super hard and making mistakes.
We have a battle for second between Hartley and Okenhaug up the road. Hartley holds off the 2 Fords ahead of Kraus in the other Subaru. Luke Kraus in the 134. So the whole podium from the last couple of weeks really struggling, and Rufos pulling away with the race lead ahead of Hartley and Okenhaug. Rufos looking to be the youngest winner in NASA Rallycross competition since Dylan Smith back in September of 2012. The man from Georgia was 16. Rufos, I believe, is 15, trying to reset that record.
As I just watched Dipple too, he took the Joker and then he stuffed it in the tire barrier into turn 3. So he went from being in a good spot for battling for a podium to being the outside guy looking in.
Parisi got passed by Silva in the 63, so when it rains, it pours. And this is a lot like Monaco for F1 this last week. We have the 2 fast guys struggling on board Sindre Silva. He jokers, and he's stuck behind Dipple in the 34.
As Rufos also jokered, so now Hartley's within striking distance here.
As we look up front, trying to get our strategy pulled up, if we can take a look at that. Rufos has jokered, Hartley has not. Kraus has, Philip Kraus that is, in the 19. Dipple has completed his strategy in the 34, so keep an eye on the 34 and keep an eye on the 63 of Silva. On the wall goes Silva, and Parisi just jokered. Both his strategy calls as well are done, so we have to look at the top 2 in the championship. Dipple might have this. Jokering is Okenhaug.
We got battles all over the track here.
Okenhaug will come out in front of Dipple, his teammate, in the 34. We're going to pay attention at the former champion, the 4-time champion, 24 race wins, second on that wins list, trying to get another victory way wide in the sweeper here, and then the hard hairpin right-hand corner to exit the dirt. Rufos pulling away. He was 7/10 up on Hartley that last lap. Jokering is Luke Kraus in the 134. Fastest man of all, 42.091 was Philip Kraus that last lap. 42.818 for his 5th lap on the circuit. Rafos was barely quicker, actually 0.2 quicker than Phil's last lap, 41.829, Cody. This is fascinating strategy we're watching right here.
I was going to say something in between our semi and the final. Watch out for Phil, because he's probably fired up from that semi coming into this final, and we know, like we said, we know how he is.
Sindre looking to the inside of Dipple, and the position changes. Two-time defending consecutive champion Silva up to 6th, ahead of John Dipple, the former race winner. In Crandon, Okenhaug exits the Joker ahead of Silva. Down to turn 1, they make contact! Silva into the wall! Okenhaug gets the worst of that, and the Norwegian in the fence in turn 1. And of course, we never try and view accidents and call them during the race on a call, but that might be under review.
Possibly. Guess we're going to have to see.
We'll have to see with the review panel. Rafos still leads ahead of Hartley, Kraus. We come to 3 laps to go. And let's get a running order update. Very quiet through the midfield. Marwan Moftah catapulted over the wall in turn 1. Hartley jokers in the 48. He will come out in front of Philip Kraus in the 19. So Hartley completes...
Nope.
No, he doesn't. Joker. He has 1 joker left. So Rafos has done with his strategy. He is out and away. He has been since the lights have gone out. So Hartley still has to joker. So does Luke Kraus. So realistically, I think Hartley is going to be coming home in 3rd unless something goes wrong here.
And depending on this delta here, and if Sindre can catch up, he could possibly end up on a podium, as he almost had Dipple run into the back of him.
2 laps to go for Rafos. Jokering is Kraus. Luke Kraus, that is. Exiting the Joker, Canadian versus Norwegian, and Luke Kraus will hold the position ahead of the defending champion. Rafos, Hartley, Kraus. We come to the white flag here in Charlotte, and I think I got his name or his age wrong, actually. I think Rafos, he runs car number 13 because he's 13. It's like 2 in the morning or something like that in Norway. I would tell him to go to bed, but he's so much faster than me, I can't really tell him that. Into the wall is Kraus on the inside of Hartley. This is a battle as we look at with Luke Kraus and Sindre. Phil hit the wall. Looks like Luke Kraus backs up the exit of the corner. Sindre to the inside and pushes his way through for the 4th spot. Hartley jokers. He gets passed by Sindre as we take the white flag. Exiting the Joker is Hartley on the outside. On the inside now, he does the switchback, the slide job like Dale Jr. would say. Exiting turn 2. Hartley tries to hold the spot. Who's going to budge down into this corner? Sindre on the outside. Hartley's going to shove him out wide, and Sindre gets turned.
See if anyone else can capitalize on this.
As that's why you don't mess with the former champion. He still has it. Jacob Rafos off of the final corner. Very quiet race. Sindre's involved in an accident, but Rafos is going to win in Charlotte and become the youngest winner in NASA history. Philip Kraus comes home in 2nd. 3rd is Matt Hartley, and Sindre Silva ping-ponged off of everyone to come home in 4th. 5th is Luke Kraus. 6th, John Dipple. 7th, what looks like it'll be Parisi. 7th, Parisi. 8th, Okenhaug. 9th, Clog. 10th will be Hook. 11th, Forrest. And 12th, Marwan Moftah.
I think Sindre is his crew chief is gonna have him put 4 tires on, just like Days of Thunder.
Wow. Words.
Yeah, you know, Josh, it would have been interesting to see if not too many of the good cars got taken out that first lap, first turn. Might have ended up way differently. We could have seen Kraus maybe pull off a victory.
Wow.
That was definitely a race. Everywhere.
And Hartley, again on the podium. It is the former champion. We're going to try and pull in our podium finishers here. We will first have a chat with Matt Hartley. I'll go ahead and I'll take this one here. Where is he? You're supposed to be a washed-up has-been, old man. You're on the podium. How was that race?
Redemption, mate. Redemption for last week and the week before and the week before that. Yes, feels great. Another podium. Matched me last time around. Awesome. So happy.
How was the race from your point of view?
Intense, man. Intense. I was just so focused. I just had to, keep my eyes forward and not make a mistake like I did in my heat race. Yeah. That was great. Well, actually, I didn't make a mistake in my heat race. I got taken out. But anyway, that's a different story for another day. That was awesome. Excellent. Thank you.
As I really thought that I had a bunch of questions for you, and I'm just amazed at how crazy this race was. Is there any partner sponsor you'd like to thank for that result?
Yeah, mate. I'd like to thank me team Ferris Shifters, Shift Your Way to the Top, RSW Graphics, SF Paints, and DGR for all the help in practice sessions and all that sort of stuff. It paid true. Awesome.
As Matt Hartley, former champion of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, finishing third, the Australian redemption, as he says, for the last 2 weeks, going out of the park in Indianapolis last week. So good run tonight, my friend, and we will see you next week in Atlanta.
Thanks to all you guys as well. Thank you.
As we will now have a chat with Philip Kraus. Let me see where he is here. Cody, this fine gentleman is all yours.
Hey there, Phil.
And low.
How chaotic was that race? Because it seemed like a complete mess up here in the booth.
It was a crapshoot. Pretty sure every car was caught up in at least one crash of some sort and variety. It's like from a point of view of like one of the people who helps run this league is his yikes, Scoob. So that's where I'll leave that.
So when we were in here last season with it was the final round, so we had the championship implications. Everyone kind of played nice on these first corners, and this week, with us being kind of mid-season, it kind of showed its true head on that these first corners are complete chaos. Were you kind of surprised that, especially even like Sindre and Connor got into it here on the start? Were you kind of surprised that the intensity was ramped up a little bit more than we came here last time?
I didn't see the Connor and Sindre crash specifically. I've already left the lobby, so I can't look at it. But yeah, the intensity was a bit too high for turn one when you have an entire race after you to make up those positions, all that. Instead, people want to just throw it away at turn one, lap one, and I don't really understand it.
Well, you did a great recovery to get up to P2. Who helped you get there?
The big lug on the side of the car. They're pretty cool. Spark, yeah, give them a look. Don't really give too much specifics about them. Let me make sure I have their site real quick. I'm pretty sure it's sparkvirtualracing.com. Give them a look if you're looking for a rig.
Thank you, my man, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're trying to get our race winner, Jacob Rafos, in here, but I don't know exactly where he is. So we'll give him a minute, so we'll actually get some final thoughts before we get that interview and we wrap it up. Charley, you first.
Chat is collectively still trying to find their jaws on the floor. What a race. I do want to just point out that I did predict Sindre would win, and I am officially no longer allowed to make predictions in this league. Another note on that is Philip Kraus, our P2 for the night, was the only driver who I contacted today who didn't respond to me. So I feel like I'm just a jinx overall. So if I reach out to you next week for a quote before the race, guys, I would ignore me.
I don't know if that's a jinx, Charlie. I think if you choose somebody, then that's a jinx, because we saw it with poor Josh. He's jinxed for the rest of the year because you picked him so many times in a row. My guy got. I think he is. I really think he is. Poor guy.
We'll see.
Break. Hopefully he can get back to form when we get to is it say, what's our next track, Josh? You
We
should
go
know
to
this.
Atlanta.
But we do have a
Yes.
couple other good tracks I know he was going to be excited for coming up here. Give me just a moment to pull this up.
Our schedule looks like Atlanta, Barker River, Crandon, Phoenix, and Sonoma.
I think he's going to do really good at Barker River and Crandon because those are some truck tracks. He's going to have some experience there. But anyways, back to the race tonight before I get off on a tangent about Josh Edmondson and the Fistful of Bourbon Jim Bieber esports team. Phyllis said everybody was involved in a crash. I think that's not true because the guy who finished first, the SET esports driver, Jacob Rafos, becoming our youngest winner in NASA Rallycross history, I do believe, has taken that,
I know Jake
right?
Robertson,
and he was
so-
not.
Yes, I stand
involved in
corrected
it.
on that.
Yeah.
He was not involved in an accident.
Yep.
I just talked all over you. I was just.
Oh, you're
bringing up
fine.
the point,
You're fine.
though.
But-
Jake Robertson, I think, is 15.
Yeah.
And so he was the youngest. He beat Dylan Smith a while ago, but this resets it.
Yeah.
13 years of age.
Jacob Rafos, everybody.
'Cause
And
I don't know if we'll be able to
he's
get him
4 in the morning in Norway.
I
So
think he should just go to bed.
I think he's going to bed, but we'll go ahead and just take a look at his car real quick. Look at all those beautiful sponsors on there. Actually, there's not too many sponsors on
There's
there.
not anything. Are you blind?
Yeah, well, there's a little bit. There's Subaru and Set Esports and a couple
Give me-
logos on the front.
Give me a final thought, Mr.
Dirtfish,
Vallee. Then we'll wrap this thing.
Yokohama. Say, is there anything else on that car? But anyways, my final thoughts for tonight, because I'm gonna ramble on about his car and how beautiful it is. Yeah, I can't say enough about the series. It's a little messy, but you know what? That's Nitro, Circus, and NASA style right there. It's always gonna be a little bit messy, elbows out racing, right? So that's racing, and it'll happen sometimes. So congratulations to Jacob, and hopefully next week at Atlanta's a little bit cleaner.
As we'll get a final thought from Mr. Dylan Livingood, our special guest tonight.
Yeah, and Josh, it's really cool to see kind of the resurgence of the younger crowd coming in here, getting some fresh blood in. We said this is the 190th race that this
Yes.
series has ran.
Yes.
Definitely left its mark upon many, many people, and it's always good to see kind of the younger generation come in and try to show off in front of us older crowd. And it was just kind of like one of those old school races where it took a lot of grit, a lot of patience, a lot of strategy to be able to win, and just the best came out on top today.
And before I get to you, Cody Erdmann, something interesting. So Rafos has not won, so I just want to make sure I didn't make a fool of myself. He is the 31st driver to win in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, driving car number 13. That's interesting. Cody Erdmann, what's up?
Like I've been kind of jumping on tonight, we kind of saw the true form of this track with it not being the final round. The final round we saw last season that everyone was kind of playing a lot nicer than obviously we had tonight. And it must be something in the air this week. I don't know if it's everyone's feeling a little extra patriotic and encouragement because I watched the Coke Series race last night and that was mass chaos. My league this week and UARA was mass chaos, and tonight was no different. It was everyone wanted to come out on top, and it was mass chaos. But up here in the booth, we like that because it gives us something to talk about.
As a couple programming notes as I work on this spreadsheet here, so give me just a minute. A couple programming notes for Nitro, Circus, Twitch. Next Monday, the Penguin RC Simulations NASA Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus is off. We come back at Motor City, at the Streets of Belle Isle, Motor City Mayhem, June 7th. Interesting little tangent. My sister lives like 15 minutes away from that track, and I'm really mad that my PTO didn't refresh in June, or in July, sorry, because I would have been at the IndyCar race, but it is what it is. So you will not see that that series in action next Monday. Tuesday's Nitro Circus League. Charlie Daniels, give me some details on that. I don't know anything about it.
We're taking Jettas to some kind of oval course.
Oh,
That's great. You don't even know.
Chris Leone from iRacing.
I don't even know
Oh,
what week
sorry.
it is anymore.
Yes, you're right. That's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yep,
next
that's
week
June
we
8th.
we have the IRX All Star Invitational, and so it's the Real Pros and the Sim Pros 2 Rallycross races in a row. That's Tuesday night next week, and our own Trevor Teal has earned his way into the fan-driven Nitro Star Car in the All Star race next week. So. Big things for him. We're hoping to see some Nitro Circus livery on the podium, or at least in the feature. How about that? We'll aim in the middle, and hopefully they can over deliver on that.
So, not discrediting the IRX World Championship at all, but the main Nitro Circus programming only really has one element next week. It's the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus, the Atlanta Long Run by iDriveSim Training. We go to the long layout of the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. Remember, Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by sim racers for sim racers, and our racers certainly raced to own the winner's coin tonight, and Jacob Rafos came out on top. Thank you to KES Industries, Ferris Shifters, iDriveSim Training, all of the partners involved presenting this series and keeping it going. Nitro Circus as well, Charlie Daniels, all of your crew, awesome support as well. From all of us at NASA Sim Racing, Automotive Sports Network, and Nitro Circus, Ray Kingsbury, Brandon Lambert, Victor Vallee, Cody Erdmann, Chad Irvine, Dylan Livingood, special guest. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody. Charlie Daniels. From all of us, I am Josh Mertz. We won't see you Monday, we won't see you Tuesday, but we will see you next Wednesday in Atlanta. But until then, so long, everyone. They don't call it Hotlanta for nothing. As we kick off the second half of the championship, the main question is, can anyone catch Sindre Silva? The Norwegian has certainly been on a tear this season, battling with Connor Parisi, but Parisi is out of NASA Rallycross. As we welcome everyone here to the Atlanta Long Run by iDriveSim Training for the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. As it's Charlie Daniels in Twitchland, Victor Vallee in the production truck, Cody Erdmann alongside me in the commentary cube, and I am Josh Mertz as we bring you this round of the championship. 24 cars getting ready to take part in this race. As we go through practice, we'll go through our format for tonight's race. Or should I say this morning's race? Because in the session, it is labeled as Sunrise. 3 heat races, up to 11 cars, 6 laps. Joker wants the top 2 will advance. So you'll have 2 semifinal races, up to 13 cars in each, 8 laps. Joker twice, the top 3 will advance, and it will give us 10 laps, 12 cars, and 2 Jokers. As we take a look at the Drivers' Championship presented by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by sim racers for sim racers, and our 24 sim racers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. You can check out their mission, platform, and vision at simracercoin.org. Sindre Silva, 24 points ahead of Connor Parisi, but the American is not here. There was the accident involved in turn 1, which gave him a penalty, gave him a race ban, but then himself, his teammate Josh Edmondson, and Jim Beaver Esports have withdrawn from NASA Rallycross. We hope to see them back very soon. So, effective second place in points is Luke Kraus, 26 back, Philip Kraus, 32 back. Then we go Hartley Oakenhaug, who is banned for a race, Kingsbury, Edmondson, Hook, and Matt Kingsbury. That is our top 10. The Constructors' Championship by iDriveSim Training. Drive safe, arrive safe. Check them out, iDriveSimTraining.com.au. Spark LLM, 1 point ahead of Jim Beaver Esports, but again, you could effectively remove them from second place. Fiercely Forward, 11 back from the LLM squad. LRL, 42 back, Ferris Shifters, 56. Then we go Dirt Esports, DNF Auto Care, iDriveSim Training, Sequential Sim Sport, and Nitro Circus DGR. The Manufacturers' Championship presented by Ferris Shifters. Shift your way to the top, facebook.com/Ferris Shifters. We look at Subaru with a perfect season so far, 164 points ahead of Ford, 67 back, and Volkswagen, 82 back. It's fair to say that the Manufacturers' Championship effectively locked up, but anything can happen, so I refuse to make that claim. Our last championship, the Sportsman Cup by KES Industries, Keep 'em Spinning Industries, adaptive controls for sim racing. Thank you to Mario Bonfante Jr. for all of the support that he has given us. KESindustries.com. Ray Kingsbury, 30 points ahead of Daniel McDonald, as Dan Mack has been very infrequent at his appearances this season. Trevor Teal, Diane Feldman, Adam Thomas, the top 5. Fleming, Wetz, Lambert, Stewart, Rawls through the top 10. As we bring in Cody Erdmann, like I mentioned in the opening, Parisi is banned from this race, Magnus as well, JBE is gone, but there's a guy named Jake Robertson who's back. What do you think?
Daz, glad to be back here in Atlanta. Glad to be back here. Watching some amazing rallycross racing. Yeah, it sucks to have Connor and Josh gone. We do have Robertson back, and I'm kind of interested on who's going to step up to the plate now, because we had, for the people that were watching last season, we had Bo Albert, who was pretty dominant in the beginning of the season, giving Sindre a run for his money, and then he kind of stepped away mid-season. That's when Connor kind of stepped up to the plate to be Sindre's rival, so to speak. So now let's see if a guy like Luke Krause or Philip Krause, if one of them two who've been kind of right there, nipping at their heels, let's see if they can maybe find that extra gear and give Sindre a battle.
As through practice, Cody, Robertson 0.3 of a second up on Sindre Silva. Remember, Robertson actually holds the most wins in a single season. 6 wins, unbelievably beat our couple of records that we had there. So the young Briton trying to get another victory in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Of course, it's a super long way, but I guess a little fun fact, he's tied for 7th overall with 10 wins with Sindre Silva. Charlie Daniels, welcome back. How is Twitch land and how are you?
Thanks, Josh. Twitch is starting to heat up despite us competing against some real life stuff tonight. I see the audience is turning out. We've got people rooting for Parker Fleming, Diane Feldman, and even our own Cody Erdmann. So we got fans in chat looking for some good racing tonight.
Let me take a look and see here. We just begin qualifying 3 laps. And I'm going to take a look at Sindre Silva. If we can actually ride on board the Norwegian down into turn number 1. That's such a tricky spot to get right, because if you clip the curb the wrong way, you're going to get spat into the wall. Turn 3, want to clip the curb, stay to the right. Then you're able to get the best run into turn 5, into the fishbowl, as we call it. Very street circuit-like through this corner. Very easy to hit the wall on those apexes, and you want to hug this wall through the sweeper, exiting this corner. Don't get too far to the right, because you will spit the tires onto the grass and into the wall, down the back straightaway, I guess you could call it, and into the final couple of corners. The dirt transitions probably midway through, and the car will slide and will get very light, and you have to position it over the jump, landing smoothly, and over the little crest here, back out onto the front straightaway. Cody, I don't know if we race together here, but I'd like to hear your opinion of this track.
Yeah, it's definitely a really tricky track. You can overdrive these corners really easily. Yeah, I don't think me and you ran together, but I think I ran once or twice here in the series. And like, this fishbowl is super fun to do, but it's super easy just to overcook it and go real wide. And then, yeah, it's so inviting with this long left-handing sweeper. Like, you want to hold it wide open, but it's super easy to run off and bounce it into the fence.
As we take a look at timing here, Cody, Robertson 0.5 second up on Philip Krause, and Sindre is down by a further about 0.2. We take a look at our defending 2-time consecutive champion as he's going to cross the line for his second qualifying lap, 44.2, so he's still 0.3 down on Robertson as he begins his 3rd lap. As I look at Robertson here, backing up the final corner, making sure he can get the best possible run, as we look at Luke Krause, the Canadian in the 134. At least we did for just a moment. We're back on Robertson now. As Krause sitting in the 3rd spot. Silva's coming out of the sweeper on his final lap, and it's going to be interesting to see. I wish I had timing that actually pulled up and worked. Sindre's actually disappeared from the server. I don't know if he's having connection issues or what, but we'll have to see his lap time here once he crosses. 44.290. Can he get pole? No. 44.356. So it looks like the fastest seed so far. There's still 2 minutes left here, Cody. Fastest seed so far, Jake Robertson. His first race back in about a season and a half, I think.
Yeah, Robertson's really putting on the pressure on Sindre. And then it's Luke Krause, Philip Krause. And then you have Savion back from I think he's ran 1 or 2 races, but he's back from his injury from karting, so good to see him up in the top 5. As actually Robbie just jumped him.
As Robertson, Sindre Silva, Luke Kraus, Philip Kraus, and Robbie Lurill. That is 0.6 of a second gap. Luke Kraus gets very close. Pips Sindre Silva on his final run. Where is Robertson? Did Robertson complete his run? Yes, he did. So he actually parked the car. He ran a 45.5. So I don't think we're going to have anybody that's going to be up on the lap time. Philip Kraus has already completed his run. Robbie Lurill's on his final lap. So Schofield and Cryer have not run a lap. Lurill is on his 3rd lap. Ragster's done. I don't honestly think that Lurill or Aish will be able to put a dent into Robertson. Aish is actually backing off on his last lap. Lurill has overcooked it in the final corner, but I'm taking a look here at the American over the jump, seeing if he can take the fight. He ran a 44.5 that second lap in qualifying, and his 3rd lap, 44.9. So the pole position from seeding isn't necessarily important, meaning that it does not guarantee you the official pole position. You still have to win heat number 1, Cody.
Yeah, it gives you a nice easy advantage going into turn 1, but you still have to execute that turn 1 at least, and then play a flawless strategy, and this way you're not getting undercut on someone and then them jumping, and then you'd be 2nd or 3rd row possibly, depending on how it all falls out.
As before we get going for heat number 1, be sure to join the conversation, whether it's here on Nitro Circus Twitch, words are hard, hashtag NASA on Nitro, or on the Automotive Sports Network on demand, hashtag ASN TV USA. Thank you to my wonderful fiance and what did I actually put her as? What is she? Public relations supervisor. I know what I do at my own sim racing league. Miss Chloe Brunton has made all of these social medias consistent, along with Kieran Forrest. So we have at NASA on iRacing on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I forgot what else. So she's probably going to yell at me about that. But Cody, we're getting ready for Heat 1. 8 cars getting ready to take part.
Yeah, as being also a team owner of the series, I have both my cars in the same race. I know how Dale Jr. feels now.
As we get ready, Robertson's going to be on pole position. Philip Kraus in 2nd. Daniel Aish, Jason Hook, Kieran Forrest, Chris Wetz, Parker Fleming, and Nathan Ramsey. 3 Fords, 5 Subarus. We're going to barrel into turn number 1, and this is a long run down to turn 1. It's actually been shortened. I used to start on the dirt as we get ready for Heat 1 in Atlanta. Green flag off the line. Aish got a terrible start in the 33. Down to turn 1. Hook tried to make it, but he could not take the fight. Teammates nearly get together there. Out of the 2nd corner, Forrest barrels his way through Hook. Over the jump. Robertson, Kraus, Aish, Forrest, Hook, Wetz, Fleming, and Ramsey is our running order as the young Briton, Jake Robertson, into turn 1. We know how quick he is. We know that you have to stay on the rear wing of that car if you have any hope of taking the fight. He's going to joker on his first opportunity along with Aish. So this is going to get interesting, Cody. So does Forrest. So does Hook. So actually, Robertson, what's going on with Robertson?
Everyone's slowing down.
Did they get a slowdown?
Everyone got a slowdown. That was really weird. I've never seen that many people get a slowdown in the same corner.
I thought originally that maybe he thought that, because I remember his first, he cut the curb way bad. But his first race in NASA Sim Racing, he took the joker on the first lap of the race when we used to have it banned. So I saw him and thought maybe he got confused, but everybody else had a slowdown. So let's actually reset this with the strategy. As Hook, Robertson, Aish, Forrest, they all jokered. Philip Kraus did not, and there's no delta now, Cody.
As Robertson just kind of pushed his way through Hook. And yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, you can't, just because you have pole doesn't mean everything. You got to make sure you execute a flawless race, and having that slowdown really hurt him. As Phil took the joker, now he's up in P1.
Phil got really squirrely on the brakes there in the penultimate corner in car number 19. So the 4-time champion and 2nd all-time on the wins list here in NASA Sim Racing out front in heat number 1. We have Chris Wetz back in car number 71, 3rd all-time on the wins list. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's got 19 career wins and a couple of runner-up finishes in the championship. Robertson is coming, trying to at least, to catch Kraus, but I don't think he's going to get it. We're going to come to cross flags halfway home in heat number 1. Philip Kraus, 36.202. Yes, that was a joker lap, but if we compare it, Robertson ran a 1 minute 0. Of course, that was a start lap, but he had that slowdown. So we're going to really see here if the young Briton can hold the pace advantage that he has and try and catch the Canadian, as Philip Kraus still leads.
Yeah, both of these guys are in the transfer spot, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but unfortunately, this would put Robertson back to about second row of the grid. So, unfortunately, even though he's fast time, that's going to shuffle him back a little bit farther, make him drive through the field a bit more. Although, I will say that this start was a lot cleaner than what we had last week.
Off the road goes Kraus in the 19. He hit the wall. I've done that once or twice. As Robertson getting closer. And that's such a tricky spot. And I know I said it in the open. Such a tricky spot because you have to drive inches away, millimeters away from that wall because there's no curb really to hold you like a normal corner. If you hit the wall, it's going to spit you in there, or if you get too throttle happy, it'll spit you off there. That's happened to me before, actually, at this track. I was leading and crashed, and that was a little embarrassing. Robertson was 0.6 up on Philip Kraus that last lap. The gap is shrinking, but he's only got a lap and a half left to go. Granted, for Robertson, it really means nothing points-wise, but the pole position is so important. We saw last week in Charlotte with Rafos. He took pole and was able to sneak away with that win.
As I noticed that coming through the fishbowl there that last time, Phil actually bounced, kind of nicked the wall, and it really slowed him up. And that's, I think, where Robertson's really catching him, just by the little mistakes that Phil's doing.
I was brought mac and cheese, and I'm trying to eat in the 3 seconds that you're talking.
I can go a lot longer if you want.
You are okay. We're going to have a little bit of time. I got Costco membership today, spent $340. I feel like a really big adult. Kraus is still holding off. Kraus is still holding Robertson off. He's going to have one corner left. I don't expect Robertson to dive bomb in a heat race. Kraus is pushing so hard. Hook in third, Wetz in fourth, Forrest, Aish, Fleming. Fleming getting close to Aish here. This is for sixth. Granted, it means nothing for points, but they're battling for a better seating position. But Philip Kraus is going to win heat 1 here, Cody, ahead of Jake Robertson. So pole position for the Canadian in Kernman 19.
Well, it's going to kind of come up to how Sindre does in his heat with the points there. That could actually help Phil, depending on what happens to Sindre in his race.
So Philip Kraus says, slow down, ? In chat. I got no free samples at Costco. According to the Costco people, they don't have free samples yet because of COVID. But we did buy this big thing of mac and cheese. It's delicious. Like the take and bake. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. You gotta say hashtag no free ads either.
Hashtag no free ads, right? I don't even know what that means. As we get ready for heat number 2, another 8 cars, and they're all going to be Subarus. And yes, I'm not sponsored by Costco. That'd be sweet. Luke Kraus, Robbie Larill, Matt Hartley, Marwan Moftah, Andrew Howell, Justin Robichaud, Travis Seymour, and Bodie Cryer. How's Twitchland doing, Charlie? We got... Nope, never mind. Just kidding. I'll pull you in a minute, as I thought we were going to have a little bit of a gritting time. Heat 2, here in Charlotte, Luke Kraus and Robbie Larill on the front row, and we know how quick Larill is because he practices at 3:43 in the morning. Green flag. Howell gets a great jump, tried to put him in between Hartley, the former champion, into Larill, and Larill pushed slideways in the 213. Moftah in second over the jump. Former champion Hartley trying to take the transfer spot. Luke Kraus is going to lead us as we begin the first lap here in Atlanta. Hartley looked to the inside of Marwan Moftah. Moftah pushed it out wide, and now Hartley tries to take the fight back. Let's see who will joker on the first opportunity. Hartley got really close. Moftah jokers. Hartley flicks to the regular course to avoid following the Egyptian. Bodie Cryer and Seymour joker as well. So it looks like we got half the field. Howell got by Hartley. I'm not really sure how. Hartley ran it really wide in the fishbowl. Seymour gets a slowdown in the 144. Howell runs it wide. These two are battling for effectively the lead once it gets rotated out. But Cody, Luke Kraus leads at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, these top three learn what happened in Heat 1, so they didn't get a slowdown. Unfortunately, I kind of cursed the field, saying that, oh, it was a clean start, and then we had bowling kind of in turn 1. So, sorry about that, field. Didn't mean to do that with the commentator's curse, but hopefully Heat 3 will be better. Yeah, Luke Krause and Marwan, they're running away from the field. Bodie right behind them. These three kind of checked out as the other guys starting to joker. Got Andrew Hall and Robbie LaRue. I cannot say Robbie's last name to save my life.
What do you need me to save you from eating macaroni and cheese? It's okay. Luke Krause still leads ahead of Marwan Moftah. That stuff is delicious. Bodie Cryer in third. Howell's still in fourth. What happened to Matt Hartley? He's down to 7th position in the 48. I think... Oh, he did not joker. Okay, that makes sense. I thought he had jokered. I'm just blind. I need new glasses, and I just got these glasses a week ago.
Speaking of him, he's going to joker right now. So let's see where he ends up.
It will put him in front of Howell. Undercuts Cryer, so this puts him still battling for third, but he is miles behind Moftah here. As we're going to come to halfway home, cross flags in heat number 2. Luke Krause very quietly up front. Marwan Moftah trying to pull away from Hartley as the Egyptian ahead of the Australian. Then we got Bodie Cryer right on board. Car number 05 here in the Subaru. The iDriveSim training Subaru. Getting very close to Hartley. This would be for the best possible position on the grid. I think it'd be outside of row number 1 in the one of the consolations, if I'm not mistaken. I could be horribly wrong there, but we'll see here in just a couple of moments. Everybody is jokered, so there's really no strategy as we take a look from high above at this battle for not only the transfer spot, but, well, there is no battle for the race lead. I was about to go on there, but Krause is pulling away.
He is checked out.
Moftah, Hartley, Cryer, all kind of under a blanket, I guess you could say, if anything goes wrong.
As Hartley was about 2/10 faster that last lap, so he is starting to reel him in slowly, although I don't think 2/10 is enough. So let's see if he can kind of chip away even bigger chunks each lap to see if he can gain on him some more. As Marwan went wide in the fishbowl there, so that'll definitely help Hartley trying to get into this final transfer spot.
As we come to the white flag here in heat number 2, and Luke is pulling away even further. 4 seconds ahead of Marwan Moftah, and then it's about a second back to Hartley. Hartley's trying everything to take the fight to Marwan Moftah. Remember, Hartley has his only victory here in NASA Sim Racing at this track in 2020A, his championship season. So he's got experience here. I think Marwan's got a win as well. I got a document pulled up. But Luke Krause, we know how fast he is in the 134. Has yet to get a win due to the dominance of Sindre Silva, but this is a good start as he will, looks like, he will win a heat race here in Atlanta, something that Sindre Silva will not do.
Yeah, Luke Krause has been the only one in the 44-second bracket. Everyone else has been in the 45s. As he's checked up in the field.
Over the jump, over the finish line, Luke Krause wins Heat 2 ahead of Marwan Moftah, who will transfer in the 191, and Matt Hartley, best of the rest, in car number 48. Cryer, Larill, Howell, Robichaud, and Seymour will go to the semifinals as we get ready for Heat 3. Charlie, how's Twitch land?
Twitch is going off. Everyone's loving these heats, and still a lot of support for the rest of the field, even though Sindre looks like he's running away with it. As you said, look, anything can happen. I spoke to Sindre earlier, and he actually predicted Phil Krause being a real threat to take home the race today. He says he's super fast in Atlanta. When I asked Sindre what his strategy was for the rest of the season, this is officially over the halfway mark of this season, guys. Sindre said, strategy is to survive, not really anything else to do. So that's in reference to his main competitor dropping out, and he sees that daylight ahead. Just got to work on holding on to the lead there. Guys.
As we get ready for Heat 3, thank you, Charlie, Silva, Ragster, Kingsbury, Teal, Feldman, Lambert, Schofield, green flag. Off the line, Matt Kingsbury got a terrible start, blocks Lambert into turn 1. Kingsbury very late on the brakes into his brother as the brothers crash again, just like they did in Charlotte. Over the jump for the first time, Silva leads Ragster, Kingsbury, Another Kingsbury, it was Matt then Ray, Lambert, Feldman, Schofield, and Trevor Teal. As I stand corrected, I'm blind. I thought Sindre was in the first heat race, but he's in this one, so he has that opportunity. But if you're Savian Ragster, you have to keep the champion behind you. Try to pass him. Sindre Jokers on the first opportunity in the 63. Feldman, Schofield, Teal do. So Ragster will lead the field that did not joker, the half of it that did not joker, in the 91. And Sindre Silva, as we're going to cross the line, we're going to wait for timing to update. Feldman is technically in second, 4.5 seconds behind our defending champion Silva in the 63.
And I was going to make it a comment about having the Kingsbury in the same race, and lo and behold, turn one is where they made contact. So, yeah, we got. I think Savian played the smart move there with doing the opposite of what Sindre did. This way, he can do his own race and possibly undercut Sindre. Although now, unfortunately, Savian's going to have to work through the field here, and that may unfortunately hurt his chances at overtaking Sindre.
I was just about to mention, as I looked off monitor, Savian is in fifth, which is fine, but he's catching Schofield and Teal. They're battling for the third spot, and this is going to hinder him. So honestly, and we're going to pull the old I would do this card. I mean, I would immediately joker. Like, he's coming to his opportunity right here. He's going to get held up by this traffic. Trevor Teal in the 720, Ragster in the 91. As Sindre is in the sweeper right now, Ragster's going to joker. There's going to be no contest for the race lead.
As Savian really cut the curb, so let's see if he gets a slowdown like everyone. Nope, doesn't look like it, so he's safe there. Yeah, Sindre really ran out, and Savian
Savian slides it, hooked the left rear on the curb, or the grass, sorry. He did save it. And Matt Kingsbury now in the catbird seat to potentially transfer. We're going to watch this battle as the gap, as of the timing line, was 2.1 seconds from Silva to Ragster. But Cody, this track only does 2 wide starts. This is not going to put Silva on the front row if he wins. It's going to put him on the inside of row 2. And if I recall correctly, the grid here is staggered, so he's basically going to be in the middle of those two, Robertson and Kraus, I should say. So he's going to be between those two on the start here, if he can hold him off.
Yeah, that could, depending on how aggressive he is, that could really be bad for him if he plays it really aggressive. But if he plays it smart and kind of tucks in line quick and then tries to use the strategy to his advantage, that would really benefit him. As Matt and Savian, they've been running the same lap times. Matt was about a 10 slower that last time, about half a 10 slower actually. So let's see if Matt puts a bumper to his teammate, because both of these Volkswagens are teammates.
As the two dirt esport cars, second and third in heat number 3. As we come to the white flag for Sindre Silva, 2-time defending consecutive Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus champion, trying to tie the record that Dylan Livingood did back in 2012 to 2013. White flag for Silva. Gap at the line was, looks like 2.8, 3.3 actually, seconds ahead of Ragster. But we're going to look at the teammates to see who will transfer in Heat 3.
Kingsbury was actually 2/10 faster. They were both in the 44s along with Sindre. So these Volkswagens got plenty of speed on this worn-out track.
Fishbowl. Ragster ran it wide. Matt got a great run, but he's going to have one straightaway left, and I know Kingsbury's good at being one of the last of the late breakers. Final corner for Sindre Silva. He is out and away like he was from the start. Ragster runs it. Kingsbury to the transfer spot. Will he get a slowdown? We got to be careful. Silva will win his heat race once again. He is third in seeding in Atlanta, and Matt Kingsbury picks up his transfer spot ahead of his teammate's mistake. Ragster, Kingsbury, Feldman, Schofield, Lambert, and Teal, the remaining running order, as I'm sure Twitchland blew up because of that, Charlie.
Twitchland is a little subdued this evening, guys, but we did get some great inside info from Kieran Forrest, our own Kieran Forrest, who ran in Heat 1 there. He said, The guys often refer to that hairpin as the donk slide because of how the Subaru feels going into that corner. So good little insight there. I'm also, just so you guys know, I'm working on my transition, throwing it back to you guys.
That you have such a beautiful voice. It's great for these kinds of things. Okay, so we get ready for semifinal A, and Sabian Rexter's a guy that said 30 seconds ago maybe I wouldn't be in this race, but now he is. So the top 3 will transfer out of this race. It's a 9-car race. Jason Hook, Sabian Rexter, Bodie Cryer, Kieran Forrest. Our sole female competitor, as noted by our own Kieran Forrest, Diane Feldman, Andrew Howell, Parker Fleming, former Supercross rider, Brandon Lambert, the inaugural champion, and Travis Seymour. 8 laps, Joker twice, 3 cars will transfer, and we expect craziness here in turn 1 in Atlanta. Off the line, Ragster got a better start in the first phase, but Hook beats him to turn 1. Cryer to the inside of Ragster. Forrest sneaking into the picture in the 44, rounding turn number 2. Over the jump, Hook will lead Cryer. Contact nearly between Ragster and Forrest over the jump. 1 car in the fence. It's Andrew Howell in the 666 as we begin the first lap. Hook, Cryer, Forrest gets by Ragster. So we'll pay attention. I think this race is going to be Ragster versus Forrest. Feldman, Lambert, Fleming, Howell. The remaining running order looks like Seymour crashed on the start. Jokering on the first opportunity is Forrest. It looks like Hook, Lambert as well. I think Hook was very slow entering the Joker, Cody, so we'll have to see the rotation here. But Kieran Forrest, and try not to be biased, your man's sitting in second.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, just looking at where everyone was and to see who would play the strategy card. Fabian pulled the same strategy that he did the last run, so let's see if once he catches up to that pack that jokered, to see if he'll joker then. So, yes, Kieran and Hook, they've kind of checked out a little bit over Lambert. Lambert also jokered. So
Jason Hook's going to take care of his strategy right off the bat. The first 2 laps, he's going to run, and we've said it time and time again, but when you have Seymour rolls it in the Subaru, I don't even know where he was. He was in turn 1.
Yeah, the chicane section.
Ran it wide ahead of Cryer and clipped the curb and rolled it in the 144. Howell will come out behind Lambert in the 46. So Forrest, Cryer, Lambert, Howell, Ragster, Feldman, Fleming, and Jason Hook. Well, Jason Hook leads, as I'm all crossed up here. Travis Seymour is disconnected after rolling it in turn number 1. Forrest is going to joker, so his strategy looks like it's done, I think, if I stand corrected, and he is behind Jason Hook here. Interesting to see as we enter in the final corner. We still got 5 laps to go for Kieran Forrest to try and get the semifinal win here. As Cryer sits in 3rd ahead of Howell, so the transfer spot heating up here, Cody.
Yeah, these top 2 kind of checked out from the field, able to run their own race. They can just kind of ride and not really try to battle each other. As Bodie Cryer and Howell and Diane, who hasn't jokered yet, she's up in P5. So let's see if maybe she can upset this.
As Hook and Forrest have completed their strategies, Cryer has just finished his strategy. So the next car is Feldman in the 84. She has not taken a joker. Lambert has one, or sorry, Feldman's got 1 left. Lambert has 1 left. Ragster has not. Parker Fleming is not. So halfway home in semifinal A, and it's getting spicy. And I say this again every single week. How can you watch something when there's single file and there's really no action, like F1 or even like this? And it's all about the strategy, Cody. The mind games that you have to play with someone, and I'm sure you've done it to me, I've done it to you, the mind games of has this guy jokered or has this guy not jokered or what is he doing really makes you slower because you're thinking about your competition and you're not focusing on the track.
Yeah, and when me and you were really running for titles, that we were running on a game that didn't tell us how many jokers each other have taken.
That is true. On NASCAR 2003, you had to manage your own strategy.
Yeah, so you were just worried about yourself and not everyone else. And now here you can kind of see what everyone's doing, although it does make it kind of, it makes it interesting because then you can play the advantage of taking a joker, and like especially when we have 2, you can take a joker and then catch up to the field and jump everyone with the other joker, unless the joker is longer like the European tracks are. So it's
Diane has finished her strategy in the 84, so we'll put her up to 4th place. I don't wish anything bad against the 3 that are in the transfer spots, but if you're a Diane Feldman fan, you want all those 3 guys to crash and burn and roll and barrel roll and whatever else to get your girl into the feature race here in Atlanta. As we saw last week in Charlotte, she was doing relatively well until the strategy unraveled, so we'll have to keep a look at Lambert and Ragster and Fleming for their remaining strategies. As Hook, I'm impressed by the speed from the Australian. He's 6/10 up on Forrest here, Cody, and we know, and again, we'll repeat ourselves, we know how often those DGR guys and girls practice.
Yeah, they're always practicing all throughout every day, every night. As Forrest was kind of putting pressure on Hook, but then Cryer started putting pressure on him, so he's kind of falling back off a Hook. One thing I'm looking on the scoreboard here, Ragster has not jokered at all yet, so that may be kind of a wrench thrown into their plans, depending on how this comes to play.
Jokers now. He will be behind Feldman, clips the curb, clips the dirt, saves it in the 91. So he jokered for his first bit of strategy on lap 7, so he's going to have to joker again. And we're going to see here what will happen with the top 3 transfers. So Hook, Forrest, Cryer is our transfer. Diane Feldman, her best race of the season so far. Remember, if you are the first one that is eliminated, you will finish 13th. So Ragster, jokers in the 91, huge bit of speed. He's going to pass Cryer in the 05. Dare I say it, he might get Forrest entering the final corner, but I wouldn't play it too hard. Cryer's going to go the inside. He's going to bump Ragster out of the way. Tries it over the dirt. They make contact. And Ragster turns Cryer. Hook wins the semifinal. Forrest comes home in second. And what a brawl for the transfer spot. As Ragster comes home third. 4th is Cryer. 5th is Feldman. 6th is Lambert. 7th Howell. 8th Fleming. And 9th is Seymour. Wow. Twitchland's going to explode on that one.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. Like I said, Savion he didn't joker at all, so I had a gut feeling he was going to throw a wrench into the plans of the top 3 guys, which he did. Charlie, how's Twitchland?
Everyone's stoked to see Hook and Forrest get in there at the final flag there. Man, I'm still trying to get my head around what I just saw. This is it doesn't get better than this, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you say hey in chat and let us know what you think.
Not to cut you off, Charlie. Green flag. Hartley blocked Kingsbury to the inside down to turn 1. Hartley gets nudged by the 25. Will the former champion save it? Through the middle goes Aish, pushing his way through. Kingsbury gets turned. Robichaud sits in a transfer spot as Aish cuts the jump. I'm not sure if that's going to count. Wetz is in a transfer spot as we begin the first lap, and you can hear the excitement because I have not said that in quite some time. As Hartley, Robichaud, Wetz are transfer drivers after 1 corner. Trevor Teal, Daniel Aish, Robbie Larill, David Schofield, Ray Kingsbury, and Nathan Ramsey. Who will joker on the first opportunity? It looks as though Trevor Teal, Robichaud, and Hartley will. 1 car gets a slowdown. It's Trevor Teal, it looks like, in the 72. As Wetz sits in 4th. At the end of the first lap, our former champion, Matt Hartley of 2020A, will lead us in semifinal B.
Yes, unfortunately, Trevor Teal was turned into the Joker a little bit early, so that's what got him the slowdown. Looking through the field, I think Hartley is like the only one that has really been like a serious contender in most of the features since we moved to iRacing. So we're gonna have a couple new guys that are gonna be in their either first final or kind of first final of the season, at least here in Atlanta.
Aish ripped the handbrake in the middle of the final 2 corners and passed Wetz in the 71. We know historically Wetz jokers on the last couple laps of the race, so he's going to be put way back in the field. Hartley still holds the lead. Teal and Robichaud, the French-Canadian, in 3rd, sitting in a transfer spot.
Yep.
Hartley's done with his jokers, so now, and Teal has as well, so we will look at the top 3 as Victor Vallee confirms to me while I'm speaking that the top 3 have all completed their strategy. But Larill will joker in the 213. You put him ahead of Teal and Robichaud. Schofield comes out behind Robichaud as Daniel Aish, Wetz, and Ray Kingsbury. Well, Ray Kingsbury Joker's in the 25, so we'll put him behind Schofield. Schofield battles Robichaud, and this is for the 4th spot.
As the two of our GT drivers played nicely here on the Rallycross course. They're going to be battling here at the moment. I believe this is for the... Nope. One spot off. This is, for P4, so it'll be the first one out of the transfer spot.
As we'll look here, Hartley, Larill, Teal, Robichaud, Schofield knocking on the door of the 93, pushes him a little bit wide in the fishbowl. Good corner. Kingsbury's going to try and pick up the pieces. Daniel Aish is not taking a strategy as well, and we know Chris Wetz will joker on the last 2 laps of the race. That's pretty known.
Oh,
Teal. As Teal, huge crash in the sweeper, as I just caught that, and that's the same exact thing that happened to me when I raced here, and Robichaud drills him in the 93.
Because unfortunately, Teal decided to park it there, so unfortunately his day is done. So let's see who else will kind of pick up the pieces from there and make their final.
Halfway home, Hartley, Larill, Schofield. That's our transfer positions right now. Robichaud, Kingsbury, Aish. Kingsbury's going to joker again. He's going to get in front of Robichaud and Schofield. So the man who crashed in the first corner is in a transfer spot. We know how fast Ray Kingsbury is, but we have to look at Aish and Wetz. Those 2 guys, very quick. We know Wetz's strategies. Hartley's going to take 3 laps to go ahead of Larill and Kingsbury. And it's really just waiting for the strategy to unravel. Ramsey jokers in the 29, so we'll complete his strategy. We just got to wait and see here, Cody, if Aish or Wetz will really shake up the order here.
As Aish has been running low 45s, high 44s, so he's keeping pace with the leaders as he ran a 45 there.
Faster than Hartley, slower than Larill by 0.2, and I think he's faster than Kingsbury, and he's right on pace with Schofield. Jokering is Aish in the 33. He's going to get out ahead of Schofield behind Kingsbury. So now we're going to have to pay attention to the delta, which is 9 seconds. So if we look at this, I think he's going to be able to pip Kingsbury here as we take 2 laps to go for Matt Hartley.
As we're still waiting on Wetz to do his jokers as well, so this will he may play the Savion role in this one.
As this joker, I would say unique, because yes, it's a shorter, as Aish into the wall in the 33 in the fishbowl. He's going to get passed by Schofield. So I think all that work that he just did is going to be for naught. Wetz is going to joker come out behind Aish as Robichaud hits the wall in the fishbowl. And I think that the fishbowl is getting gripped up to where it's pretty useless now, and you can't slide the car. I know that was an issue for me when the car grips up, and we've said this before, the Subarus are not the greatest. That's when the Fords come into play, but Wetz has a huge margin to make up.
Yeah, as he's been running the 45 3s, 45 4s, and his joker, though, was about 3 seconds off, so I don't know what he messed up there, because everyone's been running about 36-second lap times for jokers, and his was a 39.
Aish jokers, you put him in third still. He's going to hold a transfer. He comes out ahead of Kingsbury. Wetz does not get the transfer spot. So as we end the semifinal round here in Atlanta, former champion Hartley will win.
Aish had a slowdown. Aish had a slowdown, I think, was the problem.
As I was not paying attention, Aish gets a slowdown and gets turned in front of Kingsbury. So ignore everything I just told you. Ray Kingsbury's in the final. What?
I won with Wetz. Wait, no, my bad. I'm one off. I totally thought that was...
He's blind.
Yep, I'm blind. Don't mind me.
So, dare I say it, but Aish served a slowdown on the racing line, and I have to agree with Matt Kingsbury, who pops in chat here. Don't serve slowdowns on the racing line. I think it was, unfortunately. So, our B main, Hartley, Larill, and Kingsbury will be our final seeds. Wetz, Schofield, Aish, Robichaud, Ramsey, Teal, our remaining running order. As I know Victor Vallee's not feeling the greatest, so I'm going to step away. Regardless if he shows up or not, we'll have Charlie Daniels in Twitchland, we might get some updates, and I'll be here so I can pop in if I'm needed. Gentlemen.
I'll be here as well.
Sweet. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I just want to couple programming notes here while the drivers warm up for the feature. Our next stream will be Monday night for the Sports Car Challenge. I believe we're in weeks. I should have checked that beforehand, but it's we're into the back half of the season there, and the action's heating up. Man,
Week 5.
Week 5. Thank you, Josh. That series, if you're enjoying this, you should definitely check out that Monday night series. Same time, same place, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Monday nights. Come for the speed, stay for the rubbing is racing style. Actually, that's not really the case in sports cars, is it, Cody? It's more precise than that. Is what I noticed.
Yeah, setting your guy up, taking a corner and setting your guy up for the next corner to pass him, or knowing what corners are really good overtaking corners and taking advantage of those.
Makes sense. Lots of speed there and some cool looking cars as well. So, you really come for the announcers, which is the thing. It's like tonight we've got Josh and Cody. On those Monday nights we've got Josh and Mike. And it's a fun time. So make sure you come out for that Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then Tuesday, Nitro Circus League. That one's 7 p.m. Eastern time. This upcoming week, we're going to be taking Jettas to paved ovals, I believe, if I remember right. The best way to keep track of all of this is to join our Discords, which I'll throw the link in chat right now.
Let's see if I can pull that up real quick.
There we go. Sorry, I'm on push to talk, so I can't type in chat and talk at the same time. It's a flaw in my setup. And then Wednesday night, of course, back to Rallycross. I believe next week we are at. I just looked at this too, and I forgot. Do you remember what the course is next week, Cody?
I can pull that up as well, really quick.
Bark River. We go to the first round in Bark River.
Yeah, we go Bark River and then Crandon. So it's back-to-back, as we like to call endurance rounds here.
Very nice. So, whatever the track, it's a great time with these drivers and this broadcast crew, so make sure you join. And then a week from tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to have a new stream in the Micah and Brownie universe. For those of you who've followed us for a while, you know about our live podcast, the Micah and Brownie Show, which is just some action sports insiders talking action sports with special guests, including big names. We've had Travis Pastrana on. We've had no one else. No, Jimmy Coleman. We've had the list goes on. We've had Ryan Williams a couple times. Big names in action sports. If you're a fan of Nitro Circus, you know who these people are. Next week, we're going to be starting a new series in that category with Micah hosting a video game stream where we talk action sports. We experimented with this a little bit over the last couple of weeks. You may have seen some of the Rocket League streams. Well, this is going to be a little different. We're going to be playing different games with chat with the community. And Mike is going to be filling us in on all the news in action sports for the week. Any topic he wants to talk about, as you know, Mike is a big BMX guy, but he's called, FMX, skate, scooter. The man's been around the block. He's even done some televised X Games commentary. So. Good times, and if you want to come join us to play some games, I know we'll play some Rocket League. We'll probably play some Wreckfest. I have a mind to get Micah involved in some Apex Legends, maybe some Call of Duty. So the game selection will be wide, the entertainment will be there, and of course, just your chance to ask questions and hear from one of the longest-running veterans in action sports, Micah Krantz. So make sure you join us for that.
Yeah, on the Tuesday league, I pulled it up here for you, Charlie. This coming Tuesday, it's Jettas at the Charlotte Legends Oval, Southern National and Lima Land, so 2 asphalt ovals and a dirt oval with progressively banked. And then the following week is South Boston Concord and Toscuba 1000, which is a really small road course. So that'll be very entertaining. So
It's going to be tons of fun. And that league, Nitro Circus League, is open to anyone who wants to join. And in fact, next week, all the content, I believe, is included with an iRacing subscription. So if you're just getting into iRacing and you don't have a ton of tracks or cars, you'll be able to run in every race next week. So make sure you check that out. Like I said, the Discords there that are in the chat, those are the best way to keep track, find out how to join, learn the details and all that. So it looks like we're gridding up here, Cody. Back to you.
Yeah, we're about to grid up here. As Josh and I are going to call this hopefully a lot cleaner race than last week, because last week was a mess. So hopefully this week is a lot better.
As it's the Marwan Moftah round, 191 of the championship overall, 6th round of the 23rd season, we get ready in Atlanta. Grids on the left-hand side. I don't have time, and I promise that I won't talk your ears off. Green flag. Robertson gets a great jump in the middle, looking towards Kraus and other Kraus into turn 1. Silva gets turned. Is he going to try and save it in the 63? He's going to come out behind his former championship rival. Over the jump for the first time, Luke Kraus gets nearly turned from Sindre. Robertson off the road, one car around in the back of the shot, and it's Jason Hook into turn 1 for the first time. Philip Kraus, Jake Robertson, Sindre Silva, Luke Kraus saving rags for the top 5. Philip Kraus runs it wide. I think he was going to try and take to the Joker. That's going to hinder him as Robertson jokers and Sindre does as well. Hartley does as well. Forrest, everybody does. I'm a liar, except for the Krauses, Ragster, and the Kingsburys. And Jason Hook, who has crashed in turn 1. So ending the first lap of the race, if you're a fan of NASA Rallycross and you've been around for quite some time, this is going to sound familiar from a couple seasons ago. Jake Robertson leads Sindre Silva and Matt Hartley ahead of Kieran Forrest as we begin the second lap.
There's a lot of pushing and shoving there, but it was fairly clean there for turn 1. So let's see what strategy will be the best strategy to use. As Hartley takes a Joker along with Robertson, so this jumps them ahead of Sindre.
So Kieran jokers as well in the 44. Phil's going to joker in the 19. So I'm really going to focus on this on my monitor. So Sindre technically is in the race lead. If you were to think about these two battling, will Phil be able to take the fight to the 63 in the penultimate corner? A little bit shallow on the corner exit is the 19 of Philip Kraus. Remember, second all-time on the wins list. He has not won since Phoenix in 2020A, I do believe, so it's been quite some time for the man from Wisconsin representing Canada. Jake Robertson, Hartley, and Forrest still battling there. Sindre's going to joker in the 63, so he's going to come out behind Robertson and in front of Hartley. And we look at the strategy. That's going to complete the strategy of the top 4. Forrest has finished his strategy, I should say. So Kraus and Moftah have not finished their strategy, nor has Loril and those 3 in the back. Sorry, those 5 in the back have not jokered at all. So, Cody, if you're Philip Kraus, do you want to wait until the last lap to joker, maybe?
I would either wait until you catch up to the field and the Kieran would be the next car in front of him. I would either wait until you catch up to him or, wait until the last lap, because then hopefully Sindre and Robertson start battling each other and they slow them down. So this way it'll play to Phil's advantage on jumping them with using the Joker. So what Phil's hoping right now is for Sindre to catch Robertson and then them to battle and dice it up and really slow down their overall times. And then this way Phil can just jump them both when he takes a Joker whenever he feels like it's necessary.
As Phil hit the wall in the fishbowl, Loril jokered, so get him past. The 2 Spark cars in, looks like 7th and 8th. So it looks like Ray Kingsbury might have jokered. And we see the 2 World Championship drivers, Jake Robertson, Sindre Silva. They were equal on lap time that last lap here in Atlanta, as we're going to take halfway home in the feature race. Hartley waiting for something to go wrong between these top 2. Forrest sits in 4th. Loril and Kraus is catching Loril in the 213. Moftah jokers, so put him behind Loril as the top 2 pulling away. Remember, Sindre Silva, points leader in the championship, holds that red number plate, so his plate different than everybody else, just like Supercross and Motocross in the dirt bike world. Halfway home for Robertson. He ran a 44.1, Sindre 44.5, and the lap times get slower from there. I want to take a look at Phil's last lap. Here on lap number 5 that he completes was a 44.5. equal to Silva that last lap.
Which Phil's got a traffic in front of him.
Luke Krause has not jokered yet. He ran a 43.962. So we've been kind of sleeping on the 134 here. So he might be able to get something. And Sabian Ragster has not jokered either. So 44.762. And again, this goes off the conversation I had earlier. Really the monologue, I guess you could say. It's why do you watch this kind of thing? It's because the strategy like this, you could be sitting out front like Robertson or Silva, and then, hello, surprise, my name is Luke Krause or Sabian Ragster, and I'm going to take your spot.
As Sabian showed that in his heat race, that strategy almost worked perfectly. So Sabian knows kind of what he's doing here with the strategy here, at least at Atlanta, where it almost worked perfectly to his advantage in his heat race.
So the bottom three, I guess you could say, because Hook crashed on the first lap. So Philip Krause hit the wall again in the fishbowl. That's going to be hindering him. Luke Krause, Sabian Ragster, and Matt Kingsbury all have not jokered. So it's going to be hard to obviously predict when they're going to joker, but that's really going to upset this as Robertson's gone, taking lap number 8 ahead of Sindre Silva, 43.990 to a 44 flat. Krause, 43.884 for the Canadian, and he's going to finish another lap. He's going to finish his 7th lap here, and we'll see what this updates to, 44 flat. So, dare I say it, he's actually running an interesting line in turn 1. Dare I say it, he might catch these two, but he's cutting the grass on the entrance.
As he takes the joker here.
He takes the joker, comes out, nearly into Kingsbury, hits the wall in the 134. Kingsbury heads up driving. And we put Luke Krause into the 6th spot. So his first joker is done and dusted. Moftaw's there as well. And Philip Krause has jokered. We put him in 3rd. His strategy is done in the 19. 2 to go in not Phoenix, in Atlanta. I'm getting so excited.
As Robertson really is pulled out. He ran a 43.7 that last lap to 44.2.
Luke's got a joker here. Comes out behind Silva. Huge run off the joker into the penultimate corner. And Sindre might not finish 2nd here tonight, but of course we have 1 lap left to go. White flag for Jake Robertson. Ahead of Sindre Silva, Luke Krause in 3rd, Philip Krause in the 4th position. And it's a shame that Jake Robertson did not appear for the first 5 rounds of the championship, because who knows what would have happened. But certainly Luke Krause enjoys Robertson being here because he can effectively fight Sindre for his last chance at the championship. Running order has not changed. Matt Kingsbury and Ragster have completed their strategies, it looks like, but Jake Robertson will come off of the final corner here in Atlanta, and the Briton will get his 11th career win in NASA Rallycross, and the first in a Subaru. He wins it in Atlanta ahead of Sindre Silva, comes home in 2nd, and Luke Krause, what could have been, he comes home in 3rd on the podium. As Philip Krause 4th, Ragster gets 5th, so I lied about the strategy. 4 is 6th, 7th is Hartley, 8th is Larill, 9th Kingsbury, 10th Moftaw, 11th Matt Kingsbury, and 12th is Jason Hook. What a race.
A beautifully strategized race between everyone.
As we'll try and get a word with our top 2, as we know Luke Krause probably won't appear in Discord, which is okay. We're going to bring them to the media pen. I'm going to bring in, let me look. So, yeah, Krause isn't in Discord. So, I'm going to bring in Sindre Silva and Cody. 2nd place man is all yours.
Hey there, Sindre.
Hello.
That was a great race by you. You played it like beautiful strategy, as we were kind of noting here that strategy was going to be kind of a big key tonight, as this track is kind of hard to overtake. Question for you. I was kind of thinking about this. Do you feel like you could have battled or had a good chance of overtaking Robertson if the gridding played out differently, with you being next to him instead of being behind him?
So we were side by side, but or on the grid. But basically, what happened in the T1 was a small little contact. He cut in a little bit early, so I lost it a little bit, and then I knew, okay, yeah. Leave Robertson alone. We are not fighting with him in the championship. No need to fight him. I'm fighting with Luke and Phil after Connor left the series. So all my focus now is only getting this title again, and with how I can do that is only fighting the people I really need to fight. So I just kept following Jake's lines, and he's an experienced driver, so you kind of want to be behind him instead of anyone else.
I was noticing that you were kind of trying to just latch onto the back of him and have him pull you this way. You didn't really have to worry about Luke and Phil. Like I said, beautiful strategy that you played. Gave yourself plenty of room there. Did you notice that Luke had a totally different strategy? And we noticed that in the one heat that Savion pulled it, and he almost played it off. Were you worried about Luke doing the same thing, where taking the jokers really late may have him jump you with the strategy, or did you feel like that wasn't really an issue?
No, so basically I've driven now, I think 5 rounds or something against Luke here, so I kind of know his strategy. I think he needs to figure out the new strategy because, yeah, I know he's always jokering late, so just push the laps you can push. You can't really do anything else, to be honest. You just push the laps you can push. And when I was just securing my pace and knew that, okay, this speed I can get through and get a decent lap times every lap. So I didn't even look at the relative at all watching Luke. Only thing I watched was Phil when he came out of the Joker the first time there. But yeah, now really focusing back or on the other people, just focusing on getting every line perfect. That's really the key. So no, I didn't get Luke.
With that mindset, Shirley, wow, stuck on words tonight. Really shows why you are right now our 2-time consecutive champion. So, being our champion, who would you like to thank to help you get on the second step of the podium tonight?
I want to thank Fox Gaming for awesome support throughout the season and through the season we're going through here now with the World Championship qualifier coming up. I want to thank our sponsors, Power, Earthquake, Spaderbank, Nocco, Adidas, for sponsoring the team and everyone in the organization throughout the year. They're awesome support back home as well. So yeah, big thanks to every one of them, and big thanks to you guys for putting up the league and giving us a platform to drive on.
Thank you for putting on a great show for us, and we can't wait to see you in Bark River next week.
Yeah, we will see.
Why couldn't you have run the first 5 rounds of the season? Honestly, it would have been a great show between you and Sindre.
Oh, I know it would have been great. It's just school stuff.
I guess you're a kid. Yeah, school is more important.
Yeah.
How was your race from your point of view in the future? Granted, you didn't really have that much competition, but still, I would imagine the focus you need is pretty intense.
Yeah, we've been practicing the starts for all of the All-Star events, so I know I'd have a pretty good start. And the breaking into T1 from pole position is always tough. So I sort of expected Phil to outbreak himself. And then he did. It gave me a good P2. I honestly expected Phil to joker on the first 2 laps, but he made a small mistake, allowed me to get the joker instead of him, and I think really that's what won me the race, and then just consistency.
As I guess it's not really relevant to this race specifically, but you've ran in all 3 cars at Atlanta. I don't know if the time of day or weather makes a difference. I'm a washed up has-been who doesn't know that, but from a basis of car, are they around the same? Do you have a preference? I think you've won, honestly, in like all 3 of them at Atlanta. So is there a difference, or how can you explain that?
So the Subaru is absolutely better on a fresh track I'm not sure what it is. It's to do with the longer wheelbase and the torque. But then when you get onto like a more worn track, the shorter wheelbases really help the Ford and the VW go quicker because a lot more rotation, especially through the donk slide. You struggle a lot through the donk slide with the Subaru. So I definitely think if I could choose, it would be to use the Subaru in qualifying and then the Fiesta in the feature, but unfortunately that's not doable.
As one last question before I get your sponsor plugs. Obviously, you have 11 wins now in the series. Are we going to see you throughout the last half of this season?
Yeah, we should do. I haven't got any school anymore, so there's no reason unless I fall ill or something goes on. But yeah, apart from that, then we should be good.
And of course, something you've done 10 times before, now the 11th time. Any partners or anything or anyone that you'd like to thank for tonight's result?
So I'd like to thank Nitro Circus first of all, and then SDK Gaming, the Apex Academy, Simputers, and Groove Media, and VRS.
All right, my friend. Well, great run tonight, and we hope to see you next week at the new track in Bark River.
Yep, cheers guys.
Okay, so I might have moved myself accidentally. I know what I'm doing. I promise. As we're going to begin to wrap this thing up, we're going to get a last final thought for Charlie Daniels. He's going to mention a couple Nitro Circus programming notes. I'll handle the NASA bits, and then we'll pass it to Cody, and maybe Victor if he wants to speak, and then I'll close it up. Charlie, it's all yours.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, just chat was closing out with a great discussion about how Jake Robertson is some sort of alien. The man is awesome at everything he touches, so can't wait to see how that plays out for the rest of the season. Programming notes for me are, just as mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we'll be streaming next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The best way to find out when we'll be live is to join the Discords, which I'll throw in the chat right after this. And thank you all for all the support and watching. There was one bullet left with the Prime subscription about 30 minutes ago. Sorry I missed that before. Thank you so much for all the support, all the subs, all the bits, just hanging out and watching. You guys are the best community on Twitch, and I can't wait to do it all again next week. Back to you guys.
And Cody?
Yeah, we saw a great race. It's really looking forward to going to Bark River, see what that holds. As I don't think I have ever taken part in any of our iRacing endurance rounds, although the endurance rounds for when we ran NR 2003 was kind of my specialty.
I got my last podium at an endurance track. I'm very proud of that. But let's not talk about how I had to penalize Philip Kraus to do it and lose his win. But I got a podium. I finished on the podium on 5 season. I'm sorry, I'm not drunk. Continue.
So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to see if Robertson can battle Sindre and see what them two will put on a great show for us each and every week. And it's been a great show as we've been getting through the season. As Sindre is unfortunately not having as much of a points competition as we wanted, with unfortunately the Jim Beaver Esports guys withdrawing their entries. So, but each and every week, I think we're gonna have a great show. As we had a couple first-time people in the finals, possibly.
I think we did, but I've got way too many way too much things to go over that. So
at least the first time for the season. So let's see if next week with the endurance rounds, if we'll have even more. As I'm really looking forward to having Bark River as our new track to this schedule.
As Victor, I know you're not feeling the greatest. Do you have a final thought you want to give? He's muted. And I'm going to assume not. So, a couple programming notes for the NASA side of things here on Nitro Circus Twitch. Monday, we are back in action for the Penguin RC NASA Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus and powered by the Automotive Sports Network. We go to the streets of Belle Isle, Motor City Mayhem, 7:30 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I keep thinking Central Time because I'm in that time zone. You'll join myself, Mike Berry, Victor Vallee, and Charlie Daniels for that one. Then Wednesday, the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus and powered by the Automotive Sports Network. Round 7, iDriveSim Training's Bark River Brawl at the brand new circuit, the Bark River Raceway. I think that track's actually in Michigan. I don't have any notes pulled up in front of me, so hopefully I am right on that one. Am I right?
UP, Michigan.
Sweet beans, I'm right. As my final thought, it's always a brawl here. And I mean, you could realistically record my reaction and repeat it every single week because it never gets old. We're 191 races in, and I can still sit here and watch every single race. It's glorious. As from all of us here at the Automotive Sports Network and Nitro Circus Twitch, remember, join the conversation, hashtag NASA on Nitro here on Twitch. And if you're watching on Automotive Sports Network on demand, you can do hashtag ASNTV USA. Discord links will be in chat. But from all of us, Charlie Daniels, Victor Vallee, Cody Erdmann, who else do I got? Mike Berry. I have Ray Kingsbury, Brandon Lambert. Those are the assistant managers of NASA Sim Racing. I am Josh Mertz, and we will see you either Monday or Wednesday for some more NASA action, or Tuesday or Thursday for more Nitro Circuits action. But until then, so long, everyone.